Hello, my name's Joshua and welcome to Northern Solar. We're still continuing to answer the question, are solar panels worth it? So if you missed last month's update, I actually did that one as a live stream, so I'll put a link in the description and up here somewhere so you can see last month's video. This month I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm recording it live so I can look at it on the screen and show you the details on the screen live, but then I'll upload it as an actual video, so hopefully more people get to see it this month. So this month's a little bit different than normal. If I'm just going to switch over to show you the slideshow. We've actually been away on our honeymoon for 3 weeks in Nepal. As you can see out there spotting some solar panels up in Lukla, and then our actual trek out of the mountains was up into Mira Peak to a massive altitude at 6,476 metres. Yeah, not your typical honeymoon, but our trek was pretty amazing and once in a lifetime type of thing. But anyway, let's get back to business. November production, we had a total of 145.7 kilowatt hours, highest of 11.2 in one day, which I think was somewhere around here, the 3rd I think it was, and a horrendously low day on the 21st, which was 0.9 kilowatt hours. So we averaged over November 4.86 kilowatt hours, which is pretty low. Obviously we weren't here for most of that, so we didn't see how it was going until we got back really. Didn't have a lot of Wi-Fi connections in Nepal to monitor how things were going. So as you can see, if we look at the month-to-month graph, you can see the production following that sort of expected curve down towards the winter. Yeah, there, we just started in December, as you can see a few days in here already. But yeah, following that curve down from the massive numbers in the summer all the way down to that lower peak, lower levels in the winter. So I wanted to pick a typical day to show people what it sort of looks like. This was on the 27th of November. Solar day starts just after 8 o'clock now. We got to a peak at bang on 12 o'clock of around 1 kilowatt, which obviously is a lot lower than what we're used to getting in the summer. And then again, tailing off quickly and done by 4 o'clock on the 27th. Giving you a graph here which shows our battery usage and how the energy was used in the house during the day. So overnight you can see this section is during the night. So we're using the grid during the off-peak period that we have here overnight, and this is where we start charging the home battery. So you can see this graph going up to about 3 kilowatts of charge, and we also have like I think it's the dishwasher, the washing machine and things like that on overnight. So all of this is getting used at 7.5p per unit on our Octopus Go tariff. And then you can see here, as soon as the off-peak period runs out at 6:30 a.m, the battery takes over and starts powering the house. These small peaks you can see now, it's a bit new. We didn't have this in the summer. This is our electric underfloor heating that clicks on, I think around about 800 watts, I think, every now and again to keep the kitchen warm. There's no radiators in our kitchen, so we have a electric underfloor heating there. So you can see in the morning, tea, kettle on, that sort of thing, using the battery there. And then you can see this very low, that's the same graph that we saw a minute ago. That's the solar production over the day, very, very low, maximum around 1 kilowatt at lunchtime. And then again, battery usage in the evening, afternoon probably, looks probably, I don't know, something maybe in the oven, but I don't think we were in for dinner that day. So yeah, generally the usage here is pretty low during the days, a few peaks in the morning and the evening. And that's reflected here in the state of charge of the battery. I get a lot of questions asked about how we use the battery and what it's like day to day. So this one here shows the charging period here. I tried to scale it to make it fit roughly the same size. So yeah, charging for 4 hours to get the battery to, it's almost full. I think I'd limited it to like 95% or something, but yeah, so it gets to 6:30, the battery's fully charged and then starts to discharge during the day. But even though it wasn't very sunny, you can actually see the battery charge starts to go up, because during that period in the day here, there's more solar than we're using in the house. So the battery does actually start to get charged again during the day. And then you can see after the sun's gone down, it starts to discharge again, and then a bit more faster discharge as we're using more in the evenings. I'll try and do this again each month to show what a typical day looks like, but in general, that's pretty much a normal day. Sometimes we'll have, well, maybe actually not quite normal, because often we'll have the car charging at this point as well, so the grid usage will be up to nearly 10 kilowatts, including the battery and the car charging. And then maybe in the evenings, there's often more usage as we maybe cook dinner, and we've got another electric heater that we sometimes plug in if it's cold in the evenings. So there might be more usage occasion in the evenings. And we have had the battery a lot lower than this. I think we've got down to like 20% at certain times, different days of the month. But we'll check back in December with another typical day, just so you can see how the battery reacts during the day for different usage. So on to the main thing that everyone's asked for is the usage figures and financials and everything. So yeah, we produced a total of 146 kilowatt hours in the month of November. We exported 56 of those to the grid. I think that's mainly because we weren't here for a lot of the time. I imagine if we were here, that export would have been a heck of a lot lower, and our grid consumption probably would have been higher. So we actually only consumed 90 kilowatt hours of what we produced. Our grid consumption was 155 kilowatt hours, but as you can see again, peak consumption very low, and off-peak consumption is the highest part. That's again mostly charging the car, but I've got another metric now where I can show what's going into the car and what's going into the house. I'll put that onto this graph at some point, but for now it's on the other page. Financials wise, our standing charge £14.19. Our cost for all of our grid usage was £14.79. Gives us a total electricity cost of £28.98. We actually made £2.30 exporting. Not big money obviously, but means our net electricity cost is £26.69 compared to what would have been £83.82 had we not had solar. So yeah, even in a month where we weren't here for a big chunk of it, there's still £57.13 worth of savings. So yeah, not bad at all really there. Breakdowns for solar breakdown, we had what we used versus what we exported. You can see we consumed just under 62% and exported just over 38%. And then yeah, the total usage breakdown, 37% almost from solar, just under 60% from the grid during the off-peak times, and less than 4% of our usage now is from the peak time grid usage. So comparing November across with the last 6 or 7 months, we can see here these are the same figures here. So I broke down how much we put into the car. So obviously being away for 3 weeks, we didn't charge the car anywhere near as much as we did last month, so that's a big difference there. But we did put a lot more into the battery compared to October, because we've now set it to charge every night. It charges up to 100%. So I expect through December these numbers will be a lot larger. We'll be in the home more, charging up more, charging the car more. So December's figures should be a really interesting one to give us a good winter month to compare to our previous months in the summer and autumn. And one of the key figures I wanted to point out this month was our total savings are just shy now, you see down here, just shy of £1,000 so far in 8 months, which to be honest, yeah, pretty happy with that so far. All these details and everything, this spreadsheet that I use is available. There'll be a link in the description to download it. If you're interested in downloading your own copy, please feel free to do so. And if you have any suggestions how to make it a bit more useful or interesting, please do let me know. I think it's a fairly simple one to use, but if there's anything there you think could be improved, always happy to hear suggestions on that. What else have we got? A bit of a shameless plug. And thank you to those people that have already used this link. If anyone's thinking of switching to Octopus Energy, please do consider using this link. It will be in the description. It'll give you £50 credit on your bill, and it'll also give me £50 credit on my bill. A few people have already used it, and obviously any contributions are massively welcome and really appreciated. So that's pretty much everything for this month. Let me switch back to the camera and I can talk to you. Let's see, I had a couple of other things on the list to talk about. So the overnight usage and everything, we now, I mentioned briefly earlier that we set up our battery to charge every night on our off-peak tariff, which means that we're able to use that cheaper electricity now during the day the next day. So rather than having to use the peak electricity when there's no solar, we're able to use the cheaper electricity. Yeah, so that's been one of the main changes over the last month. It started in October, we changed it over to charge a bit, and in November now it's pretty much every day, because like as I showed in the production graphs, we're only generating on average 5 kilowatt hours a day, which is way less than we need to use in the house on average. On a good day, if we're getting 10, 15 kilowatts from the sun, which is, I think it was 11 was the highest, wasn't it, in our graph this month? So 11 would probably be enough to cover the day, but they're pretty rare at the moment. And since we've been back off the trip, we haven't really seen the sunshine. So I think December's figures are going to be really quite low. What else is on the list? That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, just again, any questions, any comments, drop them in the box below. As always, really enjoy chatting to people in the comments and comparing systems and seeing how people are getting on with production in various parts of the country and even further in the world as well. But yeah, I think as ever, we keep answering the question, are solar panels worth it? Even when we're not here, we're still saving money. So absolutely, solar panels, still worth it. And we'll see you next month. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.